She's coming. She'll probably edit this out.
No, I won't. Hello, everybody. It's Saturday video 43. We missed last week, but as it turns out, it's quite good because this theme that we've chosen from last week really fits in with this week.
What's the theme?
You don't know, do you?
No, let me in on it.
This week, the theme is, I wrote last week, let's talk about memories and love and lessons learnt. So I think that's a good one. So today is Father's Day here in Australia. I don't think it's Father's Day in America today, is it? I think Mother's Day is always the same, but Father's Day is different. Have you had a nice Father's Day?
Very nice. Had a breakfast with Megan and the kids this morning.
Yes. This is part of his memory. Zoe made him a beautiful card.
Yeah.
He's going to go and get it. So this week, everybody, was one of the most distressing weeks because a lot of you know that I've been running 1 mile every day of 2012 and I have been so disciplined, like seriously more disciplined than I've ever been with anything in my entire life. And this week I pulled a calf muscle, not running, but just kind of putting my foot down after boxing, not even anything exciting. So I'm out and hang on, all right, go on.
Happy Father's Day. I had to ask Zoe, was I the one on the left or the right?
Yeah, she'll hate it if you show the inside because she went off at me for doing that with Mother's Day.
No, I won't show it. She said she was the one asleep because we have a bit of a thing with gorillas anyway.
That's cute.
It was very cute.
That's very nice. Anyway, everyone, I'm out of action with this running. So I'm devastated, but the lesson learnt, this is why I'm talking about this, the lesson learnt is what I loved, the good thing, I'm trying to search for the good thing that's happened with this.
Everyone else carried the baton.
Yes, all around the world, and those of you who've done it and sent me pictures know what I'm talking about. Like the fact that a lot of you have got out there and done a mile, you've taken your families, you've done it when your kids have been sick, people around the world, people who hate exercise have done it. I reckon that's impressive. And that has made me feel a lot better. I'm still, sad that I haven't been able to do it because I really wanted to do it for all of us, and me especially, because I just wanted to see that I could do it. But anyway, so that's that. Okay, so let's do the questions. Jeremy said, what do you think is the most important life lesson you've both learned? I think when...
learned a lot of life lessons.
I reckon one of my biggest ones was when I was pregnant with Zoe and we found out she had a hole in the heart. There's a video about that, so I'll put the link to that, I'll write that down so that you can understand the whole story. But I think that taught us a very big thing that, stuff happens. It can happen to you.
No one's immune.
Yeah, and stuff happens and you've got to kind of get through it. But it also taught me, like when people say things like, oh, I hope you're having a girl or I hope you're having a boy. Really, I just wanted a healthy baby. It didn't, so I never say to someone, gee, I hope you're having a whatever, because you just want a healthy one, don't you? That was a big life lesson to me.
Humbling.
Yeah, very humbling. It was.
Well, one of the life lessons, not that side, but in a financial sense, was the catastrophe here in 1990.
Yeah.
And that was a life lesson learnt about liquidity.
Yeah. And
about banks going under.
Yeah, because Paul had sort of thought he wasn't going to work very much after that, and then he had to start all up.
Yes, I thought, yes, exactly. And
you
so
thought you were home and hosed. We weren't married at this point.
I learned that lesson at a good time in my life because I was only late 20s.
And I think it
30.
actually softened him, you guys.
And I would hate to learn that lesson when I was 65 because you couldn't.
Yeah.
It'd be nothing's impossible. Much harder.
I reckon you could do it again. I know you would hate to, but I have every confidence that you could do it again.
How many times can you ascend Mount Everest?
But seriously, I do. You must have that knowledge about yourself too from having done it once before. Or,
I don't want to go there. I don't even want to think about
exactly.
that.
We won't give it the energy.
That's not.
Yes. So Paul has put into place various things that he hadn't done the first time around that have sort of made him more
bulletproof.
Bulletproof. That's the word I wanted. Yes. Sarah.
By marrying Megan, now I'm bulletproof to everything.
Sarah Kirkpatrick said, after marrying Paul, is there one thing that you learnt about yourself that you didn't already know? And also thank you for bringing us together in the Jewelchic community. That's another thing I want to talk about.
She was messy. She learnt that. And that I was tidy.
I still learn that. That's the one thing we argue about. If we're going to ever argue, that is it, isn't it, really? And that's not even that bad. Well, not from my opinion anyway. I won't even start him up. You were referring to the Jewelchic community. I love the community on my page, I have to say, and as I'm getting to know some of you guys in real life in Melbourne, those friendships are incredibly valuable to me. Seriously, I love them.
Much stronger than a lot of the friendships that Megan thinks she has here, probably.
Yep.
You know, the people you see in the street down at the fruit shop and all of those,
yeah,
all of those
yeah.
sort of friendships, as opposed to connecting and having a real friendship, whether it's online.
I'm finding these friendships are very real.
In fact,
really, I'm sincere in saying that I do.
It was interesting when Megan was 30, she had a huge 30th. She couldn't invite enough. When she was 40, she had a few less, but still had a lot. She said when she has a 50th.
Yeah, maybe I'll just have like a Skype party with all you guys.
I'll be the only one there.
Yeah, but it's true. I could easily eliminate a lot of people from my 40th. Probably half.
Well,
were you there?
It is about the connection. If you don't have a connection,
I want to connect with my friends, and when this running thing has happened, the friends who have stood up and come forward, I'm telling you, that means a lot to me. It really does. I think it's extraordinary. The friendships I've made on Facebook are extraordinary.
I'm just going to get a glass of water, mate.
You do that. Oh, hang on. Did I answer his question?
Yep.
Sorry, I'm just looking at my computer because the questions are all there. So, I don't know if I really learnt anything different. I think in your first year of marriage, it's kind of hard because you're not used to... Well, I didn't live with Paul before we got married, not really. And not really, did we? We sort of, once we got engaged, we sort of did a little bit, but nothing really. But I think when you first get married or when you first get engaged, I think everything becomes magnified. I do. I think that when you have an argument like just about something stupid...
So what about the good stuff? That becomes magnified too?
No, I think it's the bad stuff that becomes magnified when you first get engaged because you suddenly think, oh my God, I am marrying this person, is this what I want? And not that I can remember anything, I just, things, stupid stuff like the toilet seat up and all that, not that he's one of those people, but that's all, just stuff like that. Nothing that's really... It's
ridiculous, isn't it? Because the toilet seat should be left in the up position.
Do you know there's an invention now that automatically pushes it down when the men go and it just...
No, but the crazy thing is it should automatically be left in the up position so it's ready for a man.
What about the man that has to go and do a number two?
I was brought up in...
You don't want the seat up then, do you?
Three boys.
Do you? You don't want the seat up there.
And Megan was brought up with 3 girls.
Exactly. It's like the Brady Bunch, really, isn't it?
Yes, we have a difference of opinion.
Marie from New Zealand said, I just wanted to say yesterday was the anniversary of her grandmother passing, so this is a couple of weeks ago now. We were such good friends, she taught me so much. This was the one thing she taught me. Try to live with your man first before marrying them. Men are like cars, they need to be test driven first. That's so funny. Not bad.
Women are like that too, actually.
Not bad advice coming from a lady born in 1909. So she's done that. Now, see, that's not my thing for me. I think it's good to not live with. But it's not a moral thing. For me, I just sort of think it must be really hard when you live with someone and then break up because it's kind of like a divorce anyway, isn't it? Don't you think? Well, Paul didn't live with anyone else either.
Can't imagine how many test drives you would have been on.
Oh yeah, millions. Because, I was 23, so I'd had so many relationships.
I'm talking about
me. Yeah, well, you may well have been in trouble.
I love test driving cars.
And also, Marie, when you live with someone, how many weeks is it? Because you often tell your guys who work in the office, there's a certain amount of weeks, and then all of a sudden the girl or the guy becomes de facto.
13 weeks, I think it is.
13 weeks, and you can claim part of the house or whatever. I reckon that is bizarre. It's just, that doesn't seem fair. So, Marie, did that work for you? Because I've got friends who live with people and friends who live with and have never... We've got some friends at the school and they've lived together and had 4 kids and never gotten married. Because they just don't want to.
There's a principle there.
What?
I don't know. I'll ask them.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't mind either way. It's not a moral thing, but for me, and the advice I would give the kids is not to live with someone before they get married. Would you advise that or not? There's just so many issues to think about. I don't know. I don't think it's necessary. I think everything's a little bit too permissive these days. I think people do too much and too much too soon, and I would be so shocking out there. Not shocking, I would actually be unshocking out there on the single scene because I don't
when
believe
When Megan runs, the song that she runs to, I am woman, hear me roar.
Yes.
Numbers too big to ignore.
Are you changing the subject from me saying how everything's a bit too sexually permissive? I do think so. Do you not think that?
Oh, well, you're not going to stop it. I think...
you're not going to stop it, but it should mean something. I think when people have sex that it should mean something. I don't think it should just be like
30, 40, 50 years ago.
I'm all for, you know...
It was still happening. They just didn't talk about it. Now they talk about it. Put it on Facebook or YouTube.
I think people get into shagging a lot quicker these days. I do. I think that people... Like in my day, I think people used to kiss people, but now they sort of... get straight into like there's none of that nice sort of kissing stuff and all that stage. It's like bang into the sex, and I have to say that.
What's this? Speak of this. Do you know what today is?
I don't think that's right. I don't. I think it should mean something. It's your body. It's sacred, and it should be more special.
And you know what? One of the big sayings is on Father's Day.
He knows it's true, but he's just trying to be controversial because he's a man.
One of the big sayings on Father's Day is "off like Mum's pants on Father's Day."
And I thought you weren't being controversial. Okay, Lauren. Lauren took her family out for a mile run.
Excellent.
Dressed them all up in coats and off she went.
Well, I'm
glad that's lovely. Do you know what? I've just read this. She's got memories all alone in the moonlight, right? So I read it like that in my head, and then she goes, "I'm wondering if you're just saying that if you just sang that out loud because I did." I did. How funny is that? There seem to be a lot of cats around you. Geelong cats, Cat Stevens, Ginger Cat in Mykonos. Have you seen Cats the Musical? I have, and you know what? I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Cats. I found it very long. I've seen it in New York like when I was about 18 and I had standing room because I couldn't afford a ticket.
You could follow that theme on.
And you didn't see Cats when it came to Melbourne recently. I did. It was...
Cats?
It's not that I don't love the performers. I just don't actually love that musical.
Lauren, the Cats, the theme.
We are Geelong. No. What?
Pussies.
Oh. You know what? I thought he was being tame. I thought he was going to just keep it. Why have we got like weird shadows? I think we need to turn the lights on.
It's Father's Day. Well, I'll put the blinds.
I'm getting him out of the picture. Go on, out you go. Send him away before he gets too... See, all that sex talk just revved him up a bit, I think. Didn't it, Paul?
Yeah, well, you're lucky I get revved.
Oh, that's funny. Caitlin said she loved the makeup video. That was so much fun. And you know what? We've had really fun experiences from that. And let there be light. Paul had one of our friends in Geelong
who we
had no idea watched our videos. And he goes, "Oh, Paul, I really like that
I've been offered a lot of work."
So many people watch that video and have commented that you know, sometimes it surprises us that, you know, we make these videos and we know there's a few people, but we never really know who to watch.
Was at the footy and he said, "Hey Paul, can you help me with my lippy?"
It's
and I thought,
funny.
What is he on about? Yeah. And he goes, "Video."
We love it. Like, footy. That is fun. When someone says, "Oh, I saw your video in Greece," or something, and you go, "Really?"
How's the taxi going, Chizza?
Yeah. That's a funny story in itself. Oh, and then Caitlin said, "Will we be doing more videos like that?" Caitlin, if you can suggest something like that, then yes, we will.
Like which one?
Will we be doing more videos like you doing my makeup? I don't know what that would be. Doing my hair, maybe. I wouldn't trust him with the hair straightener. Do you know what? I'd probably have no hair left.
I'm setting up a new waxing salon.
We've started him off, haven't we?
Brazilians.
Yes,
specialise in Brazilians.
The triple X.
Which takes us back into the cat theme again.
Which takes us back into the sex theme again, everybody. Yes. My mother will be watching this.
Hi, Marge. Hi, Bob. That'll rev you up.
Happy Father's Day, Dad. Love you.
And remember, Bob, off like Mum's pants on Father's Day.
Oh, you can't say that to my father. Okay. Tammy said, this is a subject that's important to me this week, so a couple of weeks again. This week we had a friend pass away suddenly and very unexpectedly. On reflection, all we have is memories. Our friend was a beautiful man with many great qualities and who made you feel so happy to be around. I love that. I love people that make you feel great to be around. Everyone should actually do that.
And along those lines, Megan was watching DEEPAK CHOPRA yesterday, and I'll finish this
with
one.
OPRAH.
And
it's on. You can watch it on the OWN channel now. It's amazing.
Oprah said, just be quiet.
Go on.
Can you be quiet? Oprah said, "What do you think happens when you die?" And that's one of the questions that Megan has always asked people.
Yeah, I like that.
Can you be quiet?
No, like to interject.
And Deepak said, see that house over there? He said, there's space in a room. He said, what happens if the building collapses to that space? And the answer is the space is still there.
I love that.
So it's the same as when someone passes. They are still there.
So the shell disappears.
The shell disappears.
But the energy is still there.
The energy is still there. You just don't communicate. And that actually satisfied Megan yesterday afternoon.
I can't stop thinking about it and how, like, I know
program.
we're all connected, right? Like, that's what he was talking about. We're all connected, we're all one, we're all part of the one thing, which I know that. But when he explained it like this and how it's, so I'm getting all goosey just talking about it.
The energy is still there.
Like, Paul and I are of one, as you guys are with us as well. So if we took all the skin off and the shell on the body and you're left with just that
Soul.
inside thing, they all just merge together because there would be no fences in between. So we are all connected, and I like that they sort of likened it to the ocean and taking a cup out and putting the cup back. It all just becomes one again. Oh my God, watch it! I'll put the link to that as well.
So
actually,
what
I'm just going to write a bit of a message. What do I have to put up? The Zoe video. And I also have to put up the OPRAH link to the DEEPAK because that's worth watching. And it's one of the full episodes that they show on the OWN network, and now it's available for us. It's fab.
What was the question?
OPRAH DEEPAK. Hang on. What was the question? We haven't got to the question. We just sort of got so excited by that we. So to answer your question, I think we should all treasure the memories of beautiful friends and happy times.
Absolutely.
It wasn't a question. It was really just a statement. But most of all, to cherish the friendships that are important. And you know what? I'm learning that more and more and more, and discovering who my real friends are.
Because Deepak says,
what?
The only thing you've got for certain is the moment right now.
Yes. And I loved it when he said that he doesn't react anymore. He said to Oprah, you can't make me angry, you can't make me feel upset because I'm just calm. And he has not had an argument for 30 years.
So he was talking about the soul, and he was talking about energy, and he was talking about...
he didn't react, maybe.
When he was studying medicine in the US, and he said 2 patients, same illness, same treatment, one patient does extremely well, the other patient dies. Why is that?
Yeah.
And he said it's because of the mind.
Yeah.
And the energy
and he talked about mind-altering drugs too in medical school, how he tried that a couple of times, LSD and stuff, and how that had affected his mind, and how he sort of really came to lots of conclusions from doing all these different things. Who would have ever thought Deepak Chopra would have tried LSD?
He said twice, no more than twice.
Yeah.
But
I've never had any drugs, in case you're wondering.
Yes, to answer that, yes, cherish them, but the energy of them is still around because you can't extinguish that.
Yes, when Oprah said that, I loved it. Yes, so when someone dies, their energy is still with you. And when you're thinking about them now, think of someone now who you loved who's passed away, well, their energy is there with you as you think of them.
You can never extinguish that.
No. I love that.
You're going to live with me for eternity. That'll be like infinity. It's on one of your rings, if you remember.
Nina said, I always think great lessons can be learnt when life takes an unexpected direction.
Yes, like when you rip a muscle in your leg.
This is really appropriate. Isn't it funny how things happen? Hang on. Isn't it funny how these things happen? You know, like we couldn't do the video last week, but now this seems so appropriate for this week, and we've watched the whole DEEPAK thing. It's quite interesting. She said it can be excruciatingly uncomfortable at the time, but incredibly rewarding at the other end. When has this happened to you both?
So, what doesn't kill you only makes you tougher.
Yeah. And you know what? I can't wait for next year, January 1st, because I am going to do the 1 mile a day challenge again, but not running every day, because the only reason I wouldn't do the running every day, even though I've loved it, is because my body needs to... I can't jam on my heels all the time because I am getting sore calves, clearly, and sore Achilles, and I want to be able to do this for the rest of my life. I don't want to, over-exercise one part of my body. So I thought I'd do bike.
You could over-exercise one part.
So I'm going to do bike, spin, bike, cross trainer and running. So I'm going to alternate, but I'm going to do 1 mile every day. And so start thinking about it now because I want to see who'll do it with me. It can be walking, running, cycling, swimming, whatever. Roller skating.
Whatever.
Okay, Shelley.
What?
Shelley said, from looking at the great photos, I'm sure your 40th birthday party was a happy memory. It was awesome, my 40th birthday.
Megan's only problem with her 40th was that she didn't get to spend enough time with everyone there.
Hang on, I'll just answer a question first, then we'll talk about it. She said she'd love to know about the fabulous dress I wore and have I ever worn it again. I wore a beautiful dress from Easton Pearson, which I love. I'll try and remember to put a photo of it at the end or something. It is on my Jewelchic Facebook page, so you can see it there under the 40th birthday album photos.
Well, she already...
But it was so gorgeous. Like, seriously, it was a beautiful dress. And yeah, I have worn it. I've worn it a lot of times. I've worn it to other friends' 40th. I've worn it to weddings. I've probably worn it 10 times. If I love something, I have got no hang up about wearing it over and over, as you'll see, because you see me wearing the same things in, you know, going to events and stuff like that on Facebook. Why would you just wear it once? So for my 40th birthday, I had probably 120 people, which I don't think I would ever have that many again, because you know what? The worst part of the night for me was that I felt that I didn't get around to talking to everyone, and everyone I had there, I really had imagined having a conversation with.
Well, you did a clever thing. You stayed downstairs and welcomed everyone.
Yeah, I did do that as they walked in.
You got to talk to everyone, otherwise you would not have.
Yeah, it was a great night though, really fun. Nicole, who I train with, said she really misses her grandmother too. She was an artist and a beautiful free spirit. She taught me to believe in myself and see the funny side of things. Yeah, see, certain people rub off on you and give you a... I watched this great TED Talk.
The energy's still with us.
Yeah, I watched this great TED Talk about, you know, someone says one thing to you and it's like click, and it really, he calls this a lollipop moment. I've forgotten why. You'll have to watch the talk. I'll put the link for the TED Talk under here because I put it on my Facebook page. And there's people that really have a marked impression on you. And it might not have been anything much. Like when I was involved with Moomba and our chaperone, I was a Moomba princess, everyone. And when I was there was 3 girls. There was me, Karina, and Ingrid. And Ingrid was the Moomba queen. Anyway, we'd always have to go to these events. And they were really fun things. And I'd go, oh, I wonder if I can go and say that to, you know, do you think I could go and say hello to that person or whatever? And Laurie would say to me, nothing ventured, nothing gained. I'm sure I've told this story before, but it was amazing. And so many years later, like in fact, I think it was just last year or 18 months ago, something like that, I actually tracked her down. And she'd had a lot of awful things happen to her since I'd seen her, including having to learn to walk again. And I rang her and I said, Laurie, I've just rung to tell you how much your words meant to me, that nothing ventured, nothing gained. And so many experiences have happened because I've said that in my head. And she goes, oh my God, I never thought I would have influenced anyone else outside my whole family. And thank you so much for ringing.
Struck a chord with you.
Yeah. And you know, various people along the way, like my girlfriend Emma, who taught me how to paint plates. You know, I'll never forget that because that was exciting. That was the beginning of what I did.
While I was out flogging real estate.
Yeah. So I'm always grateful to Emma. Like, I do remember who starts me off and, you know, all that sort of stuff. Absolutely. And, you know, celebrities along the way who've done videos with me when they've probably wondered what on earth I'm doing and what is YouTube anyway, because I started so early. It's true, isn't it? Mm. A lot of people, you know, a few of them were funny, but generally people were great, including Kate Ritchie, who put my video up on her page today. I love her.
That's a strawberry. It looks like a smile.
Look, it's a love heart.
I thought that was a smile.
Either way, put it in front of your mouth like a smile. Should we kiss with the strawberry? Oh. That wasn't quite what I was thinking. Oh, it's not a very nice one. Isn't it funny how you make that funny sort of sour face?
I think
you just
that
can't
mouth must have eaten a lemon.
That was yuck.
I don't find it so bad.
Really? You can have my bit. Bleh. Okay. Kelvin. Hello, Kelvin. He is in the States. He said, hello, Megan and Paul. I've missed you guys. Lately I've been going through this battle with myself about how fast time flies. Listen to this. I'm soon to be 20 years old. Woo! Wait, you'll be 45 before you know it.
I remember when I was 20.
You know what? And the funny thing is, Kelvin, when you're our age, you know, like, when you're that age, then we're going to be 60. Like, that's weird, isn't it? Like,
I'll be 80.
You will not. He's 20 now.
Yeah, and when he's 50, that's 30 years.
Oh.
50 and 30 is 80 in my calculation.
Well, when he's my age, what am I going to be? I'm going to be 60.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so weird. So it's funny because we have actually got friends that we met when we were 20 and they were in their 40s, and I remember thinking they were so much older than us, and now they're in their 60s and 70s, and here we are their age, and we still love seeing them every time we go to LA.
Hi, Max.
Hello, Maya and Eddie. I don't know if they even watch our videos, but hello. Okay, so he started a new job in college next week. It's all coming along so fast. I remember when I was just a little kid. Wait till you can say 20 years ago. Remember 20 years ago? That is ridiculous, isn't it? Because 20 years ago I was 25.
30-year school reunion.
It just sort of dawned on me again. Every time I say it, I get a shock. I do. The fact that I can talk about 20 years ago and I was actually an adult 20 years ago.
Come on, you sound like Grandma.
It's ridiculous.
Move it along, Granny.
Okay, it's really scary growing up. How do you guys feel about all of the changes that are happening in your own lives?
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I love being in my 40s. I reckon this is the best age yet. And I just look forward to every stage because, you know, there's, you know, our kids having grandkids one day, like all that sort of stuff. There's always something to look forward to, I think. But it is funny, you know, your body does change and you do get older and you can see a few wrinkles here and there and, you know, it's harder to lose weight, all that stuff.
Speak for yourself.
I'm speaking for both of us. Kathy Dempsey. Hi Megan and Paul, this week was the 1 month anniversary of her mum's passing. And what came to mind as I read your post was, if you have a mother, cherish her with care, for you'll never know her value till you see her empty chair. That's sad, isn't it? That's a lovely thing to think about. But, you know, like, that is true. You've got to appreciate people while they're here. Ring them up, tell them, yes, in the moment. Life is fleeting and we need to grab hold of it and just take the ride of our lives. She just made that up, she said. As for love, well, I'm no expert, but the lesson I've learned is don't settle for what I think I deserve, aim for what I know I deserve.
I agree.
Yes. Exactly.
Settling is not the answer.
Yeah. Oh, no. And then my other girlfriend, Zuska from Germany, she was an exchange student to my school, like when I was 16. We've just sort of all got in touch again. And she just caught up with my friend Jenny, who we also went to school with. Jenny is now one of those street artists, and she just won, like, the best street art, you know, chalk drawing on the footpath, on the pavement.
Awesome.
Amazing. But Jenny was always better than anyone else at art at school. You know, when she came along, I was just like in awe of her stuff. She's extremely talented.
So, next question.
So that she's just saying hi and telling me that they're catching up. So that was nice. And then last week they put a picture on my Facebook page saying, here we are together.